All right, beauties and rock stars, this is episode 100. Yeah, you're hearing that right. I've recorded 100 episodes. I've had on beauties, I've had on legends, but oh man, did we have to bring back our top episode ever. I went out, I fired him a message, and he said he would be honored. He's got some great stories for us. He's now a coach, a gym owner, traded in the pizza shop for the gym. Welcome to the podcast, Brandon Prust.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me
Oh,
for
always. It's a
the 100th episode.
Yup, you got that. So, Prusty, I know who you are, but some of the listeners that live under a rock or they've been in a coma for 10 years might not know who we're talking to. Why don't you introduce yourself and we'll dive right into it?
All right. Well, my name is Brandon Prust. I am a retired NHL player, and as you said, a new hockey coach and a gym owner as well. So, I own BP8 Fitness. It's a gym that I opened about a year ago. So I do lots of hit training out of there, lots of classes out of there. I train a lot of hockey teams and a lot of hockey players out of there as well. So it's been a fun year, and the gym's doing well. And then coaching the London Nationals, Junior B here in London, and it's been a lot of fun for me. It's my first year of coaching, and really enjoying it.
Love it, love it. Now, Prusty, something you might not know. You know your sign, your big 4-foot sign that you have for your gym?
Yeah.
I know the guy that designed that in the welding shop.
Oh, really? Who's that?
One of my buddies, Kyle Boone, he's the supercross motocross driver that does the big jumps and backflips and stuff. He was the guy that did it.
Wow, nice. Is that? I think it was like St. Thomas area.
Yup,
Exactly.
exactly. That's exactly where it's from.
Yeah, my so he's working at Cercelli Steel. Is
Yup,
where
you've got that right. He's the guy that gets the blueprints and he makes it happen.
Awesome, awesome. Well, tell him thank you and great job.
I'll do that for sure. Now, Prusty, I want to dive into, and then we'll get into your gym, but I want to dive into back where it all started. What was it like getting to play for the famous London Knights in your hometown?
That was definitely a great kind of kickstart to my career, being able to play. I was a walk-on with the London Knights. I was never drafted to the OHL, so I was just invited to camp, and I played 1 year with the London Nationals Junior B, and then the next year, I was able to make the London Knights. So played 3 years there. Ended up my final year, we won the OHL championship and won. I think London Knights' first OHL championship and first Memorial Cup. So be able to do that in my hometown in front of all my friends and all my family was pretty special.
And it must have been amazing because you're treated like it. The way the London Knights run their organization, it's like an NHL team. So that was a perfect fit for you to get ready before you went to go play for Calgary.
Yeah, they and they're the Hunters are great. Dale, especially, obviously a great coach, and they do a great job drafting, building good teams. And like you said, they treat you like pros, and they get ready. They get all their players ready for the next level. So definitely very fortunate that way, right? So have a lot, respect for the Hunters and them guide me along the way and get me ready for pro hockey.
Love it, love it. So after the OHL career, you get drafted to Calgary. You end up playing for Coach Iron Mike. What was he like?
Iron Mike he was good. Like he wasn't. I think he'd calmed down a bit in his older age. So he wasn't Iron Mike from the '90s. He's a little. He was getting a little older, so he wasn't as intense. But he was a good guy, and very good kind of family guy. He let guys. He always said, family comes first, and that's the most important thing. And so I enjoyed my time there with him, and that was my first. Yeah, that was my first year in the NHL was Iron Mike. But I'd played 3 years in the minors. I played under Coach Ryan McGill and Scotty Allen, and they were great coaches as well. And they helped me, get ready for the NHL.
For sure, for sure. What was it like playing on a team for your first year with a guy like Jerome McGinley? Like I pictured Jerome being complete class, and then when you're not on the ice, a guy to be like, "Listen, you're a rook. I'm gonna go take you out for dinner tonight, and we're gonna talk about becoming a professional."
Yeah, Iggy was a great guy, and obviously a great role model. And that guy was kind of an idol to me coming up in the ranks. You always wanted to be like Jerome McGinley. He did it all, right? He hit, he fought, he scored, he set guys up. He was kind of that all around player. Kind of reminded me of my idol Wendell Clark, right? Who was my idol growing up as a kid. So being able to play with Iggy was definitely, you try not to be too starstruck when you're walking in there. But he was a great guy, and yeah, he always took care of the younger guys as well. So, and I actually just ran into him. He was in Sarnia a couple months ago. There was the OHL or CHL prospects game for this. I think it was the U18s or U17s. I forget what it was, but his son was playing on the team. So, I ended up going and chat with him for a little bit. Hadn't seen him in years. So great guy though.
Love that. Love that. So you experienced your first trade being in the National League to the Phoenix Coyotes, and the coach is Wayne Gretzky. Man, you must have just been like, oh my God, Gretzky's going to tell me to go up next. Like, what was it like walking in a room and the great one's your coach?
Yeah, that was definitely another one where you kind of try not to be too starstruck, jumping on the ice for the first time. And Wayne's your coach and running you through drills and stuff. And, I remember I shaved my head kind of when I was there, kind of halfway through I was there. I shaved my head. And I remember Wayne the next day coming up to me going, holy shit, Prusty, did you lose a bet? Just like, well, Wayne Gretzky just chirped me. I'll take that one.
Now, did he like your style of play? Did he like that you stuck up for the teammates? You're rough and tough, and you were the energy guy in the team. Did he like that?
Yeah, I think especially players like Wayne, all those superstar players, they usually like those tough guys because they give them a little more room and they protect them. So they know how important those guys are to the team. And so I know Wayne really, he respected and gave those guys their ice time. And he played me and he was honest with me all the time. So I wasn't there for too long. I think I was there for about 3 months and before the end of the season. And then I was traded back to Calgary. But he was great to me, and he showed me lots of respect. And I still run into him this day. I've run into him a few times, and he remembers me, and we always chat and stuff. So definitely pretty cool.
I've got his sons. His sons are big fans of me on Instagram, and they're pushing on the old man to come on the podcast.
Oh yeah, that might have been a little better than me for your 100th, but maybe.
Oh no,
for your 150.
When you do episode 100, you need to have a locker room guy, a guy that's done it all, and that's why we went with you.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
So you're playing there, you get traded. What happened? Why did you go back to Calgary?
Well, I think it was already part of the deal. So I was traded with Lombardi to Phoenix, and that was was that Ole Jokinen? And there was another, maybe it was just Ole Jokinen. And but when I was saying bye to some of the trainers, they were kind of like, yeah, we might see you again soon. And I was like, what? I'm like, that's, so it was already kind of part of the deal that because they didn't want, I got traded at the draft that spring or that kind of summer. I got traded for Jim Vandermeer. So I think what the Flames did was saying, hey, we want Ole for this playoff run, but we need Jim Vandermeer as a defenseman for this playoff run as well. But in the spring, want Prust back, and we'll give you Jim Vandermeer. So that was, I think, a deal that was already kind of in place much earlier from the original trade. So something I didn't know, and maybe something that they couldn't talk about, obviously. But yeah, it's that was a deal that was already done. So draft day, I just see, I get a call. Yeah, you're coming back. You're going back to Brent Sutter called me, and he was the new coach of the Flames, and he called me on draft day and basically said, yeah, you're coming back, and that was it.
Love it, love it. And then you get to go to New York. Did you have in the back of your mind once you heard you're going to New York, you're like, oh man, I'm going to be the man in New York. I'm going to own this town and be a fan favorite?
I just I was, it was kind of, I think it was like February, and I wasn't really playing a lot, right? I was kind of in and out of the lineup, and Brent Sutter, I don't know if he really cared for me too much. I don't know, because I was fighting. I thought I was playing pretty good hockey, but it was just a numbers game. I wasn't really getting in the lineup. And so kind of in and out, and they ended up, getting traded with Ole Jokinen, and we got traded to New York, and I was just like, all right, well, I was kind of oblivious. I was like, all right, I'm going to play for the Rangers. I didn't really know the setup that they had. I didn't know, how good it was until I got there, and I was like, holy shit, now I've made it. And, playing in New York and Madison Square Garden, um, playing for Tortorella, and Tortorella, he gave me a chance. He's, I went in there. I remember I fought my first game. I think I got a 2-5 and a 10. I got the instigator fighting and a 10-minute misconduct. And I was a little worried that maybe he'd be upset about that, but he loved it. So that's something why they traded for me, right? To start doing stuff like that. And so we ended up, he let me play, and I started playing great. And I signed a new contract. It was my contract year. So, I went from Calgary worried about, am I going to get a contract? What's going on? And I ended up signing a 2-year deal with New York, and kind of the rest is history that way.
Yeah, now when you play with New York, are you guys getting like the nice salmon, the steaks, the good drinks once you get on that plane after the game? Or what's it like being a Ranger off the ice, how they treat you?
Oh, that's the definitely. I would say I don't know if there's any team that takes care of their players better than New York. You got my parents flying in and landing. There's a car waiting for them at the airport to pick them up. I mean, you want to go to a show, you want a dinner reservation at one of the best restaurants in town. You want to go to Saturday Night Live. You want to go, yeah, you want to go to a Knicks game and sit courtside. You're getting it, and you're getting it usually for free, right? So as well, the Knicks games anyway. So they treat you, they treat you like you're a very important person. They treat you great. So that's something that opened up my eyes. I was like, Jesus, this is how you do it. And we shared a practice facility with the New York Knicks. So we're having lunch or breakfast every day with the Knicks guys, because we're just share the same cafeteria, and you have your own private chef making you whatever you want, and you're hanging out with Carmelo Anthony and Mario Stoudemire and all those guys. It was definitely very, very cool experience.
What are those basketball guys like off the court? Are they cool guys like hockey players?
Yeah, they were good. There was I remember Jeffries was playing there, and I would hang out with them. We had mutual friends, so we would even hang out, go for dinner or go for drinks or something like that. So yeah, they're great guys. I remember one time it was during the NBA lockout, and I'm walking down the street with my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, and her kids, and we're walking down the street, and I see Carmelo Anthony. He's riding his bicycle. So he's riding his bike. He's coming towards me, just kind of like the middle of New York, like West Village. And I'm like, Mello, what's up? And he stops, and he's like, yo, what's up, buddy? And, we start chatting and talking about the lockout. And I'm like, are you allowed into the Madison Square Garden to come watch a Rangers game, or are you not even allowed in that building? He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't think we're allowed in there. And anyway, we just kind of say hello. I introduce him to my family, and he goes on, and my parents, they're kind of like, well, who's that? And I'm like, well, he's just one of the best basketball players in the world. I
Yeah, yeah.
didn't really have a clue, but stopped his bike and said hi to my family and sat and chatted for like 5 minutes, and then, so yeah, he was a really, really good guy.
One thing I'm curious about, you drop the mid center ice in Madison Square Garden, you win the fight. How pumped is the rink when you're on your way to the box? Like just the feeling inside being like, I just got the whole arena to give me a standing ovation for that scrap. What was that feeling like after a big win after a scrap in Madison Square Garden?
That was, I mean, that was awesome. Madison Square. There's a lot of buildings that were a lot of fun to get in scraps in, but MSG is. There's just something about Madison Square Garden, right? The oldest arena in the world, and just so much history in there. Tons of you're in the same spot that Muhammad Ali was fighting, and all these guys, and tons of. Tons of history there. So it's definitely pretty cool. And then New York fans are, I think, they can be ruthless, but they can also be the best fans in the world, right? So they're always fun getting them off their feet. And I think they really appreciated me there as a player. I won an award there for voted on by the fans, kind of the Rangers unsung hero and hardest worker. So yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun getting those fans up.
And then Hank, did he ever bring you to his barber shop?
Uh, Hank, I don't think I ever went to his barbershop, but I went. You went lots of places with Hank, but I don't think I ever went to his barbershop. I can't remember doing that.
Did he take you
I,
out for suit shopping or anything like that? What's it like hanging out with Hank?
yeah, Hank's. Yeah, Hank's. I just hung out with Hank last weekend, so he's a great guy, and it's always it's fun. It's obviously like he gets a lot of attention though, so it can be a little annoying too sometimes. But and because he's just so much better looking, you just everyone's always looking at him. So definitely not used to that. But no, Hank's good, and he had a restaurant there. We went to. We used to go hang out at. And yeah, but I never met his barber. But whoever his barber is, he does a good job. That's for sure.
You got that right. So you're playing in the Madison Square. You're doing your thing with the Rangers. You get traded for Montreal Canadiens. Where were you when you got that phone call? And growing up in London, you're probably a Leafs fan, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm still close to mom and dad. They could be coming to any game.
I didn't get traded to Montreal. I was a free agent.
Okay, okay.
So it was coming up to July 1st, and I was going in free agency, and New York was still trying to sign me, and Tortorella was calling me, and I was like, listen, I want to stay in New York, but I'm getting offers for 4 years, 10 million, and New York was offering 3 years at 6 million, so it was kind of a big separation. And I was like, even if you just do 4, like 4 and 8, like I'll stay in New York because I did want to stay there. And they just say they wouldn't do 4 years for me. He just wanted to do the 3 and 6. And I was like, it's a lot. I play a hard game. Like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to last. I wanted a little bit of a guarantee. And the body was already starting to fall apart. So I had to kind of sign that to, I ended up signing with Montreal. And I was a Leafs fan growing up. So I had to ask my dad, is it all right if I go play for the Habs? He said, you do whatever is, best for you and your career. And I knew Montreal really wanted me, and I knew I could help out their team. There's something intriguing about, I think they finished close to last place that year before. And it's kind of, can I help turn this team and this franchise around? And that was kind of a goal of mine to, go help this team. And, so it was a very happy day, but it was also a very sad day. I've never really had that emotion before where I was super happy. I just signed this great contract going to Montreal, original 6 team. And at the same time, I was leaving New York and leaving a lot of my friends. So it was a very weird feeling because I was excited and sad as hell, all at the same time. And I've never experienced that feeling before. And it's pretty wild. I had a party at my parents' place that July 1st when I signed, and called all my family over, and half my family's Habs fans. So they came over in their Habs jerseys and champagne and all that, and so we all were celebrating. And I remember just leaving the party and going upstairs to my room, and I just kind of laid on the bed, and I just needed a little break from my mind because I was just all these emotions going through me, and I just had to kind of step back for a second and breathe it all in. So it was definitely a very awesome day, but a weird day at the same time.
Absolutely. Now you go from shooting on Henrik Lundqvist to shooting on Carey Price. Man, talk about working on that shot. You're definitely getting your skills to shoot on other goalies. What was Carey Price like?
Well, I still don't have a great shot, so I definitely didn't score a lot of goals on those guys. Pricer, another great guy, great goalie. I was definitely very lucky in my career to have some great goalies. So, and went from Lundqvist to Price, and that's, I guess, one of my jobs is always sticking up for the goalies. So I was usually pretty tight with with the goalies. Pricer is a good friend of mine, and Lundqvist as well. So I think they always respect that. I'll beat the shit out of anybody that goes near him. So, and Pricer, again, just always fun to watch, and I was definitely lucky that way, getting some good goalies.
You stand up for your own goalies, but you don't think twice about running the other team's goalie, that's for sure.
No, because I know that goalies can be the difference in a game. So if I can get under the skin of other goalies, especially if they're playing well, I'm going to do it.
Love that. Love that. Now, when you're playing in the teams, do you ever come across any kind of like crazy fans that you're like, oh, geez, we're going into Montreal tonight. Debbie's going to be in row 3, and she's definitely going to be there bugging me for everything. Have you any crazy fan experiences?
Yeah, there's fans, but we always, I think you appreciate it too, right? Because they just love what you bring to the team. They're big fans, and um, yeah, I always appreciated those fans. Everybody calls them super fans, but they're the ones that you see lots of. But they're always, you can't have any bad feelings for someone that just loves you and loves what you do on the ice and is always positive with you. And even if you're not playing well, they're there to kind of pat you on the back and say, "Don't worry, you're going to get them next time." And so I think and I hope that most people appreciate those fans because. Especially when you're done, you kind of miss that, people giving you that pat on the back. So appreciate them while you have them.
Big time. That's the thing with my podcast. I've got a couple guys that it doesn't matter what I post, they send messages on the stories nonstop. I appreciate those ones the most because they're the ones that support you and they're able to help you do what you do for a living.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are the ones that they'll be at every game. They travel, they come to the road games. They're just so passionate about it. So, you got to respect anybody that's passionate about something. You got to respect that.
I like that. I like that. Now, Prusty, you're playing in Montreal. Coach is like, guys, we're on a 10-game winning streak. We don't play for a week. Night out, you guys get to let loose, do what you want to do. Who are you calling and where are you going?
Um, I mean, oh man, so many. Well, like I was just in New York playing an alumni game and just saw Callahan and Delzato and Brian Boyle and Derek Stepan and Lundqvist. So, those are guys from my New York team that you'd always call. We missed definitely like Girardi and Mark Stahl and those boys, but Montreal and even Calgary, like Eric Nystrom, Todd Bertuzzi, I'm still friends with, and Rene Bourque. So these are all guys. Dave Bolin, I played here in London. Still close friends. So there's probably tons of guys I'm missing too, but there's so many guys. Nigel Dawes, lots of guys that I played with throughout my career that I would call up in a heartbeat. And maybe go out for some dinner and drinks like old times.
I like it. Now, do you guys play the credit card roulette game when you have all the boys together?
Yeah, we used to a lot, but we haven't. I mean, if you're going out for dinner with someone that's still playing,
They're picking it up.
And you just, yeah, you're like, yeah, you throw your credit card in. So I'm
Sure.
still waiting to get dinner from Brendan Gallagher. So he still owes me about 18 dinners.
Were you to vet that when a rook came up and he was like a Brandon Gallagher coming up, going to be the next upcoming face of the team? Were you like, listen, bud, I'm going to teach you how to become a professional. I'll teach you how to dress. I'll teach you how to treat fans. I'll treat you how to tip when we're out for dinner. Did you mentor any guys when they were coming up?
Well, I think that would, yeah, Galley for sure. Well, Gallagher and Galchenyuk, and I don't think you tell them. I think you just have to kind of, like I did help them dressed, right? Because they had some suits coming out of junior that I was like, I need to get you guys in some good clothes. And then I played on a line with them and that first year, and I made sure I protected them and made sure they had some space. And another reason Gally owes me dinner is he got me into a lot of fights because he was always causing shit and I would have to get in there. So, but yeah, we always, you always take care of those younger guys and try and show them the ropes and show them, like you say, how to make sure you're always stopping and signing autographs for fans
Sure.
and just treating people well. So, and just, yeah, making sure you're always working hard. And but those guys coming in at that age, they usually have a good, if you're making it there that young, you usually have a pretty good grasp on what to do. So they don't need babysat too much.
I love that. I love that. So NHL career's over. You come back to London. You're like, what am I gonna do? How did you ever come up with the idea of getting pizza place like the Doe Brothers? Like, I'm a big fan of pizza. Are you a big pizza connoisseur? Is that why you decided to try the pizza business?
Well, my buddy had the pizza place already in a certain area in like East London, and I went there and I tried it. I was like, dude, this pizza is amazing. Like, oh, this is, and he was well and stuff. And I said, well, let's open up another one out on the other side of town. So that's just kind of how it happened. We just kind of opened up another pizza place, and I think we had it for about 3 years, and then I was about to open the gym. So I got out of that and did the gym thing.
I remember that because I was like, Prusty, you need to come up with your gym. You're like, Sauce, I'm on it. I'm already doing this. How did you come up with the idea? What's the end goal with the gym? And what do you think of the gym and how you enjoy in being a gym owner? Because, man, I tell you, I love waking up in the morning, doing my 15K run in the morning and going and checking it. There's already people at your gym working out. It always seems to be busy.
Yeah, well, I always wanted to do, even when I played, I always wanted to kind of try and do the training side of things because I feel that was one of the things that helped me get to the NHL was my summertime, work ethic and how I went to camps and, turned heads, right? You go into camp and you're in tip top shape and you're at the top of the list. I remember my first camp in Calgary. I was right behind Jerome McGinley. He was one. And then I think me Lombardi and then me, right? So I was always turning heads with my conditioning and my off ice, getting in shape, right? So that was just something I always wanted to pass on and help guys out with, not only the physical side of things, but the mental side of things and what they're going to go through in camp and in a season. So I wanted to open up a gym just to kind of train the hockey players and the athletes. And I went to my friend and who owns a few gyms already. And in Trinidad, though, he's from Trinidad. And I went to high school with him. He's back and forth. And I went to him and said, hey, I want to open up a gym. And then, do you want to be partners with me and get me all the equipment and build it for me? And he said, you know what, I want to open up a gym here too. And I want to do classes. And so we kind of meshed my idea and his idea. We kind of meshed them together. And now we have this hybrid gym where we do tons of stuff. So we have classes every day. We have class at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8:30, 9:30, noon, and 4:30 and 5:30. And then we clear off that turf. And I train two hockey teams in the evening. So that's basically kind of Monday to Friday. When I have hockey games, obviously, I have other trainers that will train the teams for me. But if I can be there, I usually do the team training. And I have lots of trainers to train my classes. And it's going well. We've been open for just over a year. And I think we're up to about 125 members and continuing to climb. And people love it. People love coming in. We put together some good workouts, and the space is huge. It's a little different from other gyms, right? Because we're a bit of a hybrid. But yeah, people seem to love it.
You need to get some cold plunges in there, Prusty.
I know. I don't know if we have any room for the cold plunges. So I have my pool open. I use that as a cold plunge. So I can tell people to run back to my place if they want a cold plunge.
Love that, love that. Well, I got a brand deal with Cairo, and they have these inflatable pools, so I could get them to send a couple over to the gym, and you could test it out.
Yeah, I know, because we were actually thinking if we could squeeze in somewhere a sauna and a cold plunge would be pretty cool. But we gotta figure out where we're gonna put them.
Well, Muskoka Sonico, Emmer and Wesley, they own that company, and I can talk to them and be like, listen, Prusty needs a free one for his gym, and we'll make sure he has a couple videos for you.
Definitely do some videos. I'll definitely do some videos. I'll pump it up for sure.
You need one in your backyard.
I have a sauna in my backyard. I've had a sauna for about 5 years in my backyard. So,
Good.
but I'm going to need a new one soon. So I'm going to reach out to you and your boys.
Yeah, we'll definitely show you what they do, and they have all different types of them. And I definitely work on getting you one. We'll make sure we get a good at least 75% off discount code.
All right. I love it. I love it. Thanks, buddy.
Love that. Love that. So after all the gym stuff, you decided to give back to the sport you love, coaching. What is it like mentoring these guys, running a practice, getting to give that pregame speech, getting to come up with that play at the last minute when you need a goal? What are you liking about coaching the most?
I just love. I think I'm lucky. It's my first team, but I feel like I got such a great, a great group of kids, and they really listen. And when you see them kind of believing in what you're trying to teach them, and the structure when they're buying into it, and I feel like I have a group of soldiers out there, so they're it's just been fun, like you said, getting the game plan together, getting the practices together to, hey, what do we got to work on today? All right, we got to work on this. And, you build that practice, you build that game plan, you're watching video with them, you're trying to make these guys better. There's tough parts to it as well, right? There's guys that have to sit out games. There's guys that might not get ice time in that third period if you're down a goal, and that's always tough because it sucks as a player. I know it sucks watching a game, whether it's on the bench or in the stands. So, trying to keep everybody happy and in good spirits. And one of my mottos is just being totally honest with these guys, right? You just got to be honest with them, tell them every situation. And it's kind of open door policy. And because that's what I always loved, right? I've kind of taken what I liked and what I didn't like from my coaches throughout. And I've had some of the best coaches, I think, in the world, best hockey coaches in the world. So that's basically, I'm taking a piece of what I liked from all of them. I liked Tortorella's intensity, right? I liked, Dale's kind of look on systems and his look on the game. I had Michelle Therrien was another great coach for me. Ryan McGill was my coach in the minors, who was also, a great coach, but he was a little harsh. But so there's a fine line between everything. And I'm just trying to obviously get my team to play the best that they can and get these guys playing as individuals the best that they can.
Do you get nervous at all before a game?
Yeah, I think I do. It's it's the next closest thing to playing. That's what I've realized, right? I still kind of have that adrenaline, going to the rink. It gets the blood pumping. I'm into the game. I wasn't sure how I would be on the bench. I feel sometimes I have to shut up because I'm a little too vocal. And I got to just kind of so it's definitely a learning curve on what I think I can do, and what I should be, what I should be doing out there, right? So, but the blood's pumping, and I'm getting into the game like I'm a player. I just can't get out on the ice.
I know.
I wish I could, but you're restricted, you're held back by those boards, but it's still that same intensity and that same hunger to win a hockey game. So
Love it.
it's a lot of fun.
Love that. And Prusty, I gotta thank you. Back in the day, in the summer, you let one of my good buddies, Scotty Mitch, train with you. And he talks about those running mornings all the time with you, and then getting to go out with you after for a couple of drinks and a couple appetizers. And he said, man, training with Prusty, he just brought the most out of me.
Yeah, oh yeah. Scotty and I had some good summers. Yeah, training together, and he was a great athlete. So I remember we used to do our bike rides, and I don't know how. I think he was fairly new. Like it might have been a month after we started working out together, and we were doing a bike ride out, outdoors. We had both had our road bikes, and we did this one track, this kind of big loop. It was probably about a 15K loop, right? And we're doing this loop as hard as you can. First one to finish, you're trying to beat each other. So, I was a little older and I thought a little better, right? So we let him go about 2 minutes in front of me. I watched him go down the road, and then my trainer let me go, right? So I was basically hunting him down, and I didn't gain that much ground. I might have gained a little bit of ground, but I was like, fuck, I can't catch this guy. I thought I was going to catch him, maybe around that 3/4 mark, but he just kept on it. And after that, he had my respect. I was like, all right, I thought I was going to catch you, but I never did. So, I knew I had a good athlete and a good worker as my partner, so I was happy about that.
Love that. Love that. Well, Presley, I'm going to try to make it down for London. And some of the things that people like to do is when they have a special guest, they get to read the starting lineup. Maybe you can make that happen for me, and I could do that for your team one game.
I think the boys would love it. Definitely, if you get down to London, we'll get you reading the starting lineup, bud.
And I'll come in with a real nice suit. I'll look professional. None of that Moore stuff.
I love it, buddy. I love it. You're welcome anytime. Come check out a game, and we'll get you to get the boys fired up. All right.
I'll definitely fire them. Well, Prusty, this has been a blast. What a 100th episode. I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this. And you just keep killing it, man. Being the mentor yard of these kids, helping people stay and fit at that gym. You're a class act role model for so many people that you don't even know of.
Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad. Thanks. I mean, it's an honor to be your 100th episode. I'm glad you asked me, and maybe I can be your 200th.
Well, we'll make that a deal. Every 100th episode, you come on to be the guest.
Unless Wayne Gretzky's going to be it.
Okay, he's the only one that can go before. Wayne Gretzky or Prusty are the ones that be 100th episodes.
All right, sounds good, brother.
Love it. Let's just get a picture for the socials. And we're good. All right, Prusty, you have a great night, and me and you'll stay in touch, and we'll get this out in the next couple days. I don't think I got to do any editing. We're pretty clean. We kept it by the books, and it was just a great time.
Awesome.
All right, Prusty, take care, big guy.
Yeah, you too. Take care, buddy.
See you later, Prusty.